They've been playing much better baseball for a little over a month now, and they had an opportunity, 11-game homestand, to really make a move in the standings, particularly in the division. I remember before the 11-game homestand began, we said, well, how many wins do they need? I think Cakes didn't have 11 games.
Right.
They played 10 because of the rainouts, and they went 6-4 in that homestand. And they went 4-2 against the Phillies and Braves. They only won one over the weekend, and they won on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Bullpen issues continued to an extent. And we'll talk about Trevor Rosenthal. He was a big part of that on Saturday as they lost 13-9.
Yeah, it was a meltdown on Saturday.
I looked at the updated Baseball Reference probability of getting to the playoffs and the updated Fangraphs probability of getting to the playoffs. It used to be abysmal. Baseball Reference now has them, after the homestand, jumping up to 31%. They were at 17.9. And Fangraphs has them at 49.7%.
Ooh, that's a coin flip. That's fitty-fitty.
I like that one better.
3 back right now in the wild card race. There are a ton of teams there.
I think at
the
one
Phillies
point
are sliding.
They were maybe at 3%.
Yeah, I mean, the Phillies have lost 7 in a row.
Yeah.
They've been a disaster for
the problem
a little over
is,
a month.
They're only 3 back in the wild card, but there are a ton of teams ahead of them.
There are a ton of teams involved.
Which is difficult. And honestly, I get a little bit confused. It's going to be embarrassing to say this, but the Brewers at the forefront, they're plus 1.5. If we're 3 back, are we really more than 3 back? Like, do you look at the way they do the standings? It's kind of weird. Like, they say the Brewers are plus 1.5, and then the Rockies, so I guess the Rockies are a game and a half behind that.
Yes.
But it's just a slash mark when you look at games behind. I don't quite understand.
Because that's the second wild card. Remember, there are 2 wild cards.
Because
so you have the first wild card, which has that 1.5 game lead.
Yeah, okay, that's because of the 2 wild
You're
cards.
really just chasing the second wild
You're really
card.
only chasing the Rockies.
Correct.
So forget about the Brewers. Okay,
right.
Good.
It's for that look, the wild card's a playing game anyway, so it's just a matter of getting to that one game.
Right.
So over the weekend, the Nats should start by winning on Friday. That was Strasburg on the mound. And then on Saturday was one of the 2 bullpen disasters, and it was on Saturday, Davey Martinez decided to give the ball to Trevor Rosenthal in the 8th inning. Now, the game before, to be fair, on Friday, Rosenthal came in and actually did his job and closed out the 8th inning. So on Saturday, he was given the opportunity again, and Trevor Rosenthal walked a couple batters, as he does, and it led to a 4-run rally
I believe he
by
had
the Braves.
3 walks.
Okay,
Yeah.
3 walks.
Yeah.
4-run rally by the Braves. Braves ultimately won 13-9, and that was it. They finally had it with Trevor Rosenthal. ERA right around 22.
Well, they just don't have a place for him.
Yeah, they pulled the plug.
By the way, he was one of the nicest guys that we've ever met.
Absolutely.
That's played for the
100%.
Nats. And it was short-lived, and it
sucks.
sucks that he wasn't able to, gain the control that he had once in his career. And I'm hoping at some point he's able to harness that.
Yeah,
It just wasn't going to work here.
It totally sucks.
Yeah.
'Cause he is a
Martinez
great guy.
afterwards says he put in the work. We put in the work. We tried to get him right, and things just didn't work out. It was time for us to move on.
Yeah.
Rizzo apparently getting a lot of criticism online. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067 for trying this. I don't know that you deserve criticism for trying something. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Guys throwing 100 miles an hour.
They're upset that he signed him at all, or
Gave him
that he
$7
stayed with
million.
them so long.
Maybe that they brought him back.
Yeah.
I think kind of a combination of things. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. So now, they were hoping in the perfect world that Rosenthal was going to be the setup guy that would lead to Sean Doolittle. And now you're going to be left with Rainey, who's been good at times, although he blew it the other night. Suero, who's been good at times, but ERA is still around 6. And then, guys like Tony Sipp and Matt Grace and the other guys that they've brought in the bullpen. How are you feeling about the Nats right now? It's good. They're back in it 37-40.
They basically are right. Now, the last 2 losses were disappointing to the Braves, especially with the meltdown from Rosenthal on Saturday. But they were right about on the number that people were, hoping they could do on the homestand. They
Right,
won.
if you go 6-4, and I remember doing the math, play .600 baseball the rest of the way, very good chance they make the playoffs.
Well, that's a big ask, but
That's what they just did.
Yeah.
That's what they just did. So what do they have coming up?
they got the Marlins starting on Tuesday, and they get, I'm not sure if
I think it's Detroit is in the mix, and maybe KC, and then Miami again.
I think they get the Marlins twice, like in the
Yes.
next 10 days.
They had the Marlins, Detroit for 3, and then the Marlins get. The Marlins do surprisingly always give them a battle. It seems.
I think
like.
the Marlins have won 5 or 6 straight. They've been
Yeah.
on
Swept the
fire
Phillies.
of late.
Yeah, but the Royals are struggling, right?
Yes, the Royals and the Tigers, bottom feeders.
Right. So this will be another stretch where, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 3 against Miami. They have 3 against Detroit, 6. 3 against Miami again, 9, 12. So 12.
It's a
So they
much
need to
softer
go-
part of the schedule.
They need to go, say, 7-5.
8-4.
8-4 would be great because half of these are on the road. Half of these are on the road. The next 6 are on the road. So, but
Yeah, they'll be playing in front of 7,000 people at the Miami Stadium.
I don't know how it works out ultimately. And, yesterday they brought up Austin Voth to pitch. He was Double-A. And
I think it's both, but I'm desperate
Whatever
for it
it
to be
is.
both.
pitched pretty well just by looking at the numbers.
yeah, and I heard David Martinez talking about it afterwards. He throws gas. He
Right.
throws 96, 97 miles an hour. I know there's more to pitching than that, but
Just ask Trevor.
maybe convert
Rosenthal.
him. Well, Trevor Rosenthal couldn't find the strike zone.
Yeah.
And they probably, I think the part of the criticism is, too, that they should have known it in spring training, because in spring training he faced 28 batters, and he had as many walks as he had outs.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an indicator that if he has as many walks in spring training as he has outs, that maybe that was going to
Yeah, but it
carry
got
over.
precipitously
They-
worse, though.
They basically were just crossing their fingers thinking, he'll get his mechanics right and he's going to be fine. And then when they sent him down, they thought, well, his mechanics we're working on his mechanics and he'll be ready to go.
Well, I don't know that they thought that at that point. I think they thought this will be the last chance. I don't think they thought for sure
But why
they would
call
fix
him up? Because in the minors, he was walking guys left and right,
I
too.
think because he was out of options or whatever, or the time, there was a time limit on
Okay.
it, and so they had to call him up. I don't think they necessarily
So
wanted
they wanted to see one more time what
give
he
him
had in the
before
bigs.
they cut him. Yeah, and they want to give him every opportunity because he is a good dude. But they're in the middle of a freaking wild card chase here. The luxury of pitching him no longer
They
exists.
couldn't afford to keep trotting him out.
Yeah, and it's a shame too. Again, we can't say it enough. The guy's a spectacular dude, really good guy, but that only gets you so far. I just hope he gets another opportunity somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't see how it could be at the big league level.
It would stink if his career ended at 29.
Yeah, I think he needs to go down and probably a full season in the minors to just iron out the
Yeah,
kinks.
he might.
Get his confidence back. I think it's
But
a
here-
combo.
Here's maybe where criticism is legitimate, and it's kind of fast forwarding. But let's say they end up the season 85 or 86 wins, and they come up 1 or 2 games short in that wild card.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been because of Trevor Rosenthal. Because again, they had to make a decision. So they made a decision on Saturday or Sunday, whenever they finally moved on from Rosenthal. But they had that same decision in late April. So you come out of spring training, and again, he had faced 28 batters. And in 28 batters in spring training, he had walked 9 guys, and he had gotten 9 outs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But it was
they were just hoping that he was going to get right in the regular season.
right because they knew the pattern. The guys with Tommy John, that's a pattern that they went through. That they would struggle
Well, maybe
with
they should
control.
have sent him down after spring training.
Maybe.
They put him in high leverage situations, and that's what Davey Martinez did on Saturday.
Mhm.
Now, Davey Martinez said that they needed to see where they were at. So he did it in the game.
Oh, he got to see.
And it cost them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not. If they come up 1 game short, you're not going to blame it on Trevor Rosenthal. I mean, you could, but you just as easily could blame it on a Victor Robles error or something. I mean, So I wouldn't get too
I
carried away.
understand that,
I
but
wouldn't
how
get too
many-
carried away with that.
But he had no success this year.
He
None.
didn't. Yeah. What are you going to do? The guy's had tremendous success in the big leagues, and he's throwing 100. You've seen him do it for years and years, so that's why you keep giving him those extra chances.
It's actually pretty amazing that they're in the spot they are. Look, they lose 2 out of 3 against the Braves. I don't think they'll catch the Braves unless the Braves have some sort of losing streak like the Phillies have had, which you can't see. But you're in the mix. They're in the mix.
Well, and their guys have pitched. I mean, their starting pitching is lining up pretty darn well right now, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much 1 through 5. and the way they're hitting, you just the bullpen
I don't
reverted.
have confidence in 5 and not full confidence in 4.
Well, Sanchez has pitched
Sanchez has
pretty
pitched
well
much better.
recently, and Corbin had hopefully a breakthrough start
but
his
that's
last go round.
3. 5 has been Fetty. He didn't get out of the 3rd inning last time.
Well, Scherz, Strauss, Sanchez, Corbin. Okay, 4. You're pretty darn confident in those 4.
I don't have full confidence in 4, which is Sanchez.
Yeah.
Yes, he's been better of late, but he was terrible at the beginning.
Okay, but he's been much better, and it's been more than one start. It's been several starts in a row.
Okay,
And that's
well,
what he
look
did
at the
last year.
average.
So, I don't know. I'm pretty confident in the starting pitching, and I'm obviously pretty confident in the bats.
Hey, look, like I said, they were dead a month ago, right? 12 games back.
At least they're giving us a little bit of a grasper at this
Yeah.
point, heading into July.
I think it's pretty good. If Fangraphs has you at 49.7%, toss up whether they make the playoffs.
Yeah, but that's significantly greater than what the Baseball Reference projection
Baseball Reference has them
at 31
to 31%.
What was their lowest? The Baseball Reference.
I don't know about the lowest. It was just
2
a
or
couple weeks ago
1%?
before this homestand. I believe it was at 17.9%.
Right.
So they went 6-4 in the 10 games.